So you're thinking about moving to Sacramento? Well, welcome to the Wednesday night live show that we do on this channel every single week just for you to answer all those questions you might have about moving to Sacramento. We're the largest YouTube channel in the area. We have been doing this for about 6 to 7 years just for you guys. So on this live show, we're going to talk a little bit about the market. We're going to give you some statistics. We're going to tell you a little bit about the temperature and the pulse of the market. We're also going to talk about the Railyards projects and other huge projects that are coming to the Sacramento area to make Sacramento and the metro area even a better place to live. Like I said, guys, this is a show we do every single Wednesday. Bring your questions. We got the answers. Let's get into the show. And tonight I bring on special guest, Corey McKinney, as we talk about all those amazing projects and things coming to Sacramento. This is going to be a fun one. Let's get into the show right now. All right, guys, hopefully you guys are having a nice evening. We're going to talk a little bit on this channel. We're going to be talking about the federal shutdown and how that applies to you guys. We're going to be talking about the Railyards project, stadiums, all that stuff. With Corey, who switched gears and he's doing amazing stuff in the commercial space. So we want to talk a little bit about the Railyards, and we're always going to talk about, like, the Sacramento real estate market, how we're doing new homes, resale homes, all that kind of fun stuff, and how the area is just kind of bringing you guys like some really amazing things and what the temperature of the market looks like. So we'll lead into this right now. Let's go a little bit about the Railyards. How are you feeling about the Railyards, Corey?
Excited. I think there's going to be a lot of changes coming to Sacramento because of it. I mean, and everybody thinks of Railyards just soccer stadium, but there's so much more than just that stadium. So we'll cover a lot of that tonight. Give you guys a better picture of what that's going to look like.
All right, well, let's give it a little location. Okay, so if you guys don't know, Sacramento, it's basically located right here. Like the Railyards area that they're building out is like right here. We can drill down even a little deeper on the next slide here. And this is kind of what it looks like. So it's going to be situated in a really kind of a nice spot, just super close to the Sacramento River, really nice location. If you're someone living in downtown, you want the vibe of going to an MLS soccer game, the Sac Republic, this is where the new stadium is going to be. And it's going to be, I think it's already under construction, and we're looking at 2027 completion on it as well too. This thing's going to be pretty sweet for our area, huh? Right, Corey?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's going to be the SAC Stadium, Kaiser Permanente. There's going to be all different types of housing developments, mixed use where, you have retail on the bottom, living residences up above. And then there's going to be some senior housing coming in as well. And there's also even more proposed development behind it that's on its way to approval. So there's a lot to it. It's going to change the landscape of Sacramento probably forever once it's complete.
Oh yeah. And first, before we get started, I want to say hello to everyone out there. Thank you guys for tuning into our the weekly show that we do. Every one of you guys, we're going to talk about all those fun things about Sacramento. Like I said, everyone, you guys are the best. And like I said, thank you very much for you guys give me the energy to come on and do this show for you guys, 1 hour, 2 hours. And Corey, thank you for coming on as well too. We got like Wendy here. I always look forward to your wonderful show. Thank you. And we got Matt Barba, who says, Corey, are you related to Lexi Lawless? And if so, are you? No. He says, I heard Corey's giving away season tickets to the Sac Republic when they move over to Railyards. I don't know. I mean, Corey might be with all the business he's doing in the commercial space right now too. I mean, you never know. We might be all at Corey's box seats over at the Railyards sooner than later. Good evening, Tatiana, as well too. Thank you for joining. But this is great. I mean, okay, for me, like I said, a lot of people are always like, oh, Sacramento is kind of a giant suburb, fun things to do for the family, close to Tahoe, and everyone's always talking about like close to Tahoe, close to Napa. I mean, here's the thing about Sacramento in general. You can do some amazing fun things currently in Sacramento, but with all the things that are coming to Sacramento, like the surf park in Roseville, the arena coming in Rancho, and now this thing. I mean, this is going to be crazy. And they're building an entire kind of like almost like a mini little community there, correct?
Yes, absolutely. So you'll have, let me give you some hard hitting stats. This is called an infill project. So think of a parcel of land that's surrounded by development already that's being utilized. And this is a parcel of land that's essentially being underutilized. So we're infilling this location, and it's one of the largest infill locations and development projects across the nation. So to put it in perspective, we're on the map nationwide for development right now because of this property. There's going to be 6 to 10 built, or I shouldn't say homes, I should say residences, single family homes. These are going to be townhome, condo style homes, and apartment style homes. But 6 to 10,000 homes in this location, plus 5 to 6 million square feet of commercial space. Obviously, the stadium's going to take up a majority of that, but a lot of these mixed use retail spaces, as they go up in height, you'll have that commercial space down below and then all the residences above. So it is a massive, massive project.
I
And
mean,
along with
it's
that,
nuts,
they're putting,
right?
they're putting in a Kaiser Permanente medical campus there as well.
Yeah, here we got phase one coming in 2029. And this is going to be not your just average like Kaiser Hospital. This is going to be a campus. So this is going to be absolutely huge to the downtown area as well too, for jobs and everything too. This project is one of the like I guess crown jewel projects that's happening in the Sacramento area. A lot of people, like myself included, felt like the waterfront in the Sacramento area wasn't utilized the way it should be, right? Delta breezes, waterfront, everything. Old Sacramento is doing their own $3 million reno as well too. But this spot is going to be the next level of like fun stuff. And I had a comment. They're like, "Hey, why don't you do a video about people who move to Sacramento that are young and single and all that stuff too?" And like, guys, here you go. This is fun. I'd be hitting this thing if I worked in Midtown. I'd be going to like Chicago Fire Pizza or going to Thai Basil down there, and I'd be hitting this thing up, or Tapas the World. And I mean, how fun is this? I mean, think about this. Like, you come to Sacramento, you're working in the capital, and I mean, the Kings games are already fantastic, and I love going to them. But this outside stadium is just kind of cool for people coming into the area and people who live here, right?
Oh, 100%. And and then there's a 150 unit senior housing that's going to be put in there too. So they're really trying to draw. So it's going to be something for everybody. Um, And then not only that, most of the headlines are all about the Sac Republic and the stadium or the housing that's going in, but there's also another development for another concert venue in this greater development that they're calling it the Paint Shop, and it's going to be a concert venue that seats 3,700 people roughly, and it's going to be part of kind of an entertainment district down there. So it's not just going to be for the Sac Republic games and the field there, but they're going to have more concert venues coming to the Sacramento area, and that includes the Dova Center that we're going to talk about in Rancho as well.
Yeah, I mean, I hit it last week. The Dova Center, like the funniest thing is like I being raised in the 80s, like I enjoy seeing Richard Mark concerts, Motley Crue concerts and everything too. That's the Sacramento's got. We've got some good concert venues, guys, too. And like I said, this is going to be fun because this is going to be like an outdoor kind of like concert kind of arena downtown. And I love that idea. I love the idea it's so close to the water. You probably get some Delta breezes. I love that outdoor entertainment venue as well too. This is such a needed project in our area. A lot of people, like I said, when you come to Sacramento, you're going to know that if you live in Folsom, you're going to hover around that Folsom El Dorado area. If you live in like Rockland, Roseville, you're going to be hovering around that area as well too. Granite Bay, Roseville bleeds into Roseville, and then the East Sacramento, Land Park, and all that. Everyone kind of hovers in their areas. There's not a whole lot of reasons for people to kind of go back and forth to certain things, except for events. And so you have something like this that can really draw people who maybe live in El Dorado Hills and are saying, you know what? I want to go to the brand new stadium. I want to go to the Railyards and watch Republic play. This is going to be awesome. Maybe stop by the kitchen, grab an amazing meal, and then shoot on over and watch some like soccer. And you guys don't realize this, especially if you guys aren't, if you're new to the Sacramento area, soccer is insane here in Sacramento. I mean, kids play it, Costco caters to it. There's games. It's just nuts. I mean, don't you think? I mean, I lived in Marin, grew up in Marin, played soccer in the Marin area. It doesn't even hold a candle to what they do here in Sacramento as far as soccer. Don't you think, Corey?
Yeah, soccer's been a huge part of Sacramento, and now that you have Sac Republic coming with the Dova Center, they have the major arena soccer league coming. There's already a pretty large soccer complex, outdoor soccer complex in Rancho Cordova. So if you're a soccer fan, but all three. I have 5 soccer practices a week, 3 games every Saturday. It's kind of a part of the culture.
I mean, and the other thing too is the thing about these projects as well too, as far as the jobs, you know what I mean? We're talking generating 910 jobs as far as like the entertainment venue anticipate generated 390 jobs. So I mean, not only are we bringing in like other things and fun things to do for the people who are moving in, who people who've lived here their entire lives and who are Sacramento diehards, but we're also bringing in some jobs as well too, which I like. I think in this economic climate, jobs, jobs report that, we won't even go there, but it's nice to know that in the entire country that's hurting as far as job wise, everything too, Sacramento is one of those spots that's kind of bringing stuff in. I mean, like all these projects that we go over, all these projects that I'm kind of going over with you are like jobs, they're construction jobs. They're, even the new homes, bringing in people who are doing landscapes and stuff too. So landscape design for a lot of the new homes. This is really, really fun. But as far as this project goes, I mean, this is one of the things that I'm super excited about. My daughter, huge into soccer. I mean, I kid you not. She's Messi. I'm a little bit more Ronaldo, but we love soccer. And we went to a Sac Republic game over what was it at the stadium they're currently playing at. It was absolutely crazy. It was just nuts. The energy, the people, everyone was just it was just nuts. It took me like 2 hours to get out of the parking lot. It was like in the dust and everything. Remind me of like the old Cow Palace, but to think that you could have like a modern, nice stadium close to downtown where you could basically just walk over there, or maybe, come on, Sacramento, hook me up here, do some like rapid transit that can maybe get you there, that would be just pretty fun for the family, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. And I know we've emphasized soccer quite a bit, but soccer is not going to dominate. It's going to dominate. It's kind of the anchor here. But think of all the other events that you're going to be able to host in a stadium like this. Concerts, like all kinds of it. Maybe we'll have supercross and motocross and monster trucks and all these other fun things that are going to happen in a location like this. And yeah, along with the concert venue, so it's going to drastically change the downtown area. And going back to jobs, I kind of analyzed the total of what this is going to bring to complex as a whole. And these are long-term jobs; they're not just temporary during the construction. So you add in the construction jobs that are included in that as well, and it
Your
just becomes
microphone,
a
I think your mic cut off. What were the numbers you're hitting?
24,000 total jobs in this whole development that it's going to bring long-term jobs, not just including the construction jobs. So the construction jobs included, it pushes that even further. So the economic impact that it has for Sacramento is massive. And if you're looking for what other state or city is putting this much effort and development into their location, very few.
I'd say also one of the things about the Sac Republic I'll say is I always get calls from them, and like they're very much like a community based MLS team. You know what I mean? They're very much like come out and watch a game. They're always very much pro community, pro everything. I mean, I really, really love that addition to our like area to have like, have a stadium and have a team like the Sac Republic. Like I love community kind of things that come in, and like the Sac Republic is huge like that. I wasn't a big fan, at first I was when the A's were coming to town, but then when the A's started kind of poo-pooing all over Sacramento, wasn't a big fan of that. It's nice to have a team like the Sac Republic who's basically like, loyal and loves the Sacramento people, because we're the ones buying the tickets. And I think that that's awesome. Like I said, like my daughter, we went to a Republic game. They let her run on the field during halftime and everything too. I mean, it's great. And I think it only adds more to this community vibe that we have here in Sacramento. And I think that that's great. And people don't realize this. Like, I don't know what maybe you're watching these Texas realtors or whatever talking about Sacramento and whatnot. Like, I kid you not, I grew up in the Bay Area back in the good old bad old days when it was actually like, family-ish and everything too. I left the Bay with really kind of like it was just a cold environment. No one really knew each other. No one had that community centric vibe. I moved to Sacramento, and here, guys, you get that community vibe. You get that suburban vibe. You get that block parties. you get like those parks where they're shutting it down and there's movie nights for the community. Like that's one of the things that I love, love, love about Sacramento. And when I see something like this, like a stadium that's being put in place, maybe if I was in my 20s or whatnot, I'd be thinking, yay, let's go with the boys and go and have fun. But me, I'm thinking, I can't wait to take my daughter there. Like she's going to love this. This is going to be crazy. So I'm excited. And these are the things that I'm telling you, like when you hear about other areas like your Dallases, your Phoenix, your Houston, wherever, they're not putting as much money into projects as we are. Our city, if you looked at like Corey, if you looked at the rail yards, if you looked at the Cordova, that whole Dova area they're developing, if you look at the surf park, if you're looking at Top Golf, if you're looking at bringing in the X Games, if you're looking at all this stuff, it would really make you wonder. I mean, we must be in a fantastic economy right now. You know what I mean?
It-
It's just
right.
Sacramento. I love that. We're good.
Yeah, we're
You
we're
know?
still pushing forward. Yeah, there's still demand for it. We have the space for it, and yeah, and I think Sacramento deserves this. They've been
Yeah.
fighting hard for this.
Oh yeah, and also like how you said there's gonna be that entertainment venue as well too. Look at this. Look how awesome that is. Look at, is that the water in the distance? Yeah, it probably is. Like, look at the renders of what it's gonna look like. Isn't that the coolest thing? I
Right.
mean, for me,
Amazing.
you got the Kings, then you got something else to do here in Sacramento. We're gonna have the Amtrak connecting us up with probably the airport pretty soon too. We got some fun stuff, guys. Like Sacramento is really, really cool. And like I love this idea that it's by the water for the Delta Breezes. Imagine just sitting there watching a soccer game with your family and getting some nice and watching, I mean, and here's the thing about these type of stadiums, they build these and all of a sudden you're gonna see like other teams from other areas come in as well too, not just MLS teams like, like European clubs, like, Real Madrid and everything too. So this is going to be really, really nice. The other thing that I wouldn't be surprised as well, because the location is, I wouldn't be surprised if not only did they just do like the entertainment venue probably is going to be great, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do some outdoor things at the stadium as well too. Like they do, like what was the Bay Area's Pac Bell or whatever they call it now. Like that'd be fun to see some concerts here, or whatnot. Bring in some big names, do some outdoor entertainment. I mean, Aftershock or whatever that concert is. You never
Right.
know,
Right.
man.
Maybe
So
we'll get an
okay, so
NFL team at one point.
ooh, that would be unbelievable. If we got an NFL team, I think I could finally, get on here and just basically say, I told you guys so. Sacramento is like there. And all you guys also, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's hit some questions too. And if you guys have questions about real estate or about anything that we're discussing right now, bring it in. All right. Any projections on rates in the next 7 years? Oh man, that's tough. Also, how much more time do you think Sacramento has before it becomes unaffordable? I'll give my summary, and Corey will jump in as well too. I think that Sacramento, a lot of people, I think if you look at the Bay Area, if you look at Los Angeles, I think Sacramento is still affordable. But I think if you're moving in from outside California and you're moving into Sacramento, I think you're not going to look at it as affordable. I think that certain parts of California, like maybe the Central Valley or, certain areas, like you probably wouldn't look at Sac as unaffordable, but to be just generally unaffordable, I don't know. I think it's going to take a little while for that to happen but it also so subjective because, who are we comparing us to? If we're comparing ourselves to like Dallas, Texas, or Houston, where you can get a brand new McMansion for $3, like, yeah, we're pretty unaffordable. You know what I mean? So what do you think, Corey?
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's a very subjective thing. Depends where you're coming from. If you're coming from LA or Bay Area, it's absolutely affordable. I think there's definitely affordable real estate here. It depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for a single family home, you want a large lot, or something like that, then yeah, it might be priced out in an ideal neighborhood. But I think there's something for everybody here where you can get even a condo, townhome, something like that in a great neighborhood for far cheaper than you could in other locations. And to touch on his projection for rates, I mean, that's near impossible to look at. But if I were to guess, I would say they're probably going to stay pretty close to where they're at, maybe go up a little bit, down a little bit for the next couple years, unless something changes or we have some sort of COVID type era again.
Yeah, some black swan stuff happens. But here's the thing for me, at least, I feel more comfortable talking maybe about the end of the year, right? I think the market, I mean, certain communities, certain houses, certain, aggressive pricing, certain of those like unicorn spots and houses and everything too will do well in this market. I mean, it's one of those things that they'll always do well. But I think for the end of the year, it's probably going to be a really cold market, especially in resale. I think new homes, they right now already see deals happening. In fact, I'm going to drop actually a video. I'm going to be dropping a video of a new home that was actually from what they listed the price to what it is now. They dropped it like $200,000. So that video is going to pop on Friday. But I think new homes are what is going to save our market, as far as if first time home buyers are looking at it. I still think there's amazing houses though. I mean, like we're listing a house in Antelope that I think is probably, in my opinion, the best house on the market right now. I think the location's great, near schools, like the cutest community ever. And for me, for the life of me, I'm scratching my head as to why it hasn't gone, because this house, if you're looking for sub 500, is the house in all of Sacramento. So I don't know. I mean, what do you think, Corey? As far as the end of the year, what do you see happening?
Yeah, I could see the market being fairly slow. I think buyers that are ready to go will have a huge opportunity to, get the home that they want without competition, without having to go over asking. If you're ready to go and you see a property that, and ready to go means you're ready to purchase a home, you're pre-qualified, you're ready to make that financial commitment, and you're out there looking, but just curious if the timing's right or not. I would stay active in the market because you're going to find some deals out there that other people are just not paying attention to or ignoring, especially as we go into the winter months and the holidays. There's going to be some huge opportunities for buyers out there. Now, if you're looking at selling, it might be you're probably questioning like, hey, did I miss the boat for this year? Should I wait till the spring market of next year? And that's really where you should meet with a professional and um, get a better idea of your position and what you should do. I'm advising most of my buyers to stay active, put in offers that make sense for you, and then lock in at the rate, because the way things are going, I wouldn't be surprised if we see another rate drop towards the beginning of the year. I guess there's a slight chance there could be one towards the end of this year, but definitely by spring, I think we'll be in a better position than we are now for rates. And you're going to miss that competition when it's spring market, rates are even lower than they're at, there's buyers rushing to the market. You'll be sitting pretty and just discussing with your lender about refinancing and taking advantage of those rates, but you'll be in the home already appreciating with equity, all of that.
Yeah. I mean, my opinion on that stuff is always like, time your life, don't time the market. If it's your time to buy, I don't think you should force it for the market. I mean, if rates drop a little bit and you're like, oh my God, I want to buy. It's like, sometimes when you're shopping on Amazon, you buy something and you're like, I didn't even need that. I think right now it's not the market where you buy a house and in 2 years you go to sell it. You know what I mean? I think this is a long-term play. I think a lot of people are giving up their 2.75s, and that's something to really, really lean into and say, do I rather take equity out of the house and maybe build an add-on extra room or put in that pool with that money? So I think for anyone looking right now to jump in the market, I'd say time your life, don't time the market, but figure out what you like, what you want. You know what I mean? Now is the time to really like do your due diligence, do your homework, figure out communities, areas, price per square foot, and just really, really understand what you're buying and to be able to spot a house. Because if you do that piece, okay, if you do the piece that I'm telling you, like educate yourself, communities, streets, price per square foot and everything, you're going to see a house pop up and you're going to know if it's a good deal or not. You're going to know if it's like, oh, wow, that price is amazing. Why? Well, I saw a couple pop up that were like this and they flew and this one's way lower. Like that's the piece of the puzzle a lot of people miss. It's like, if you do that, you're going to read, because I see right now there's so many people list high, people list low. A lot of people are thinking it's a good deal, it's not a good deal. And if you take your time right now to figure out the market, understand what a good price per square foot is, what communities you like, why things are moving when other things aren't moving, and they're kind of the same thing. Like those are the little key things that majority of people who are looking to buy just don't take the time to do. And I think those little advantages, especially in a market like this, where you might not find the piece of inventory hit you like in a day or a week or a month, this is the time to kind of do your homework. I mean, forget about the holiday gifts just right now. Do your homework on figuring out what you want to buy. Corey, you know what? You've been on the show for so many times, and now you are getting your own questions, man. I love it. Thanks for
Yes,
your
I've
thoughts.
made it.
You've made it. All right. Thanks for your thoughts. We'd love to hear Corey's thoughts on growing Rancho area. One thought I have is that eventually Rancho will link with Elk Grove and Folsom from either side. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I can almost guarantee that to be the case because they're building that Grant Line highway. They're going to be improving that, so the commute from Elk Grove to the Rancho area and Folsom, and Folsom's already connecting through White Rock, so they're all going to kind of start blending together. And this Dova, which is really the city is really pushing Rancho Cordova. The city is really pushing to build kind of a downtown hub. They're ready for that. They're primed for that. They have all these new homes that are there, and they're really kind of rebirthing themselves, I think, in my mind, with this project. And their timeline for it is extremely fast. I mean, 2 years is when they expect completion of it. So I've already had investors looking at the commercial space, looking up to purchase commercial locations around this as an investment play because it's a short hold time. When you're purchasing a property, a 2 year hold time is very short in the terms of a commercial investment. So I think the same will happen with housing. I think you're going to see a bump in all the areas that are just south of Highway 50 there where it's going to be built. You're going to see an influx of just money coming in, desirability raising. You're going to see uh, more people coming in, better opportunity for people that own retail shops, restaurants, small businesses, all of that. It's going to be a boom. I think it's a great location, and then that extends to obviously Folsom and Elk Grove too. Um,
Well,
between
I
all
mean,
that.
the way I kind of look at it also is that, like, like you mentioned, I mean, if you look at Rancho's location, once they build additional infrastructure, I mean, it's an ideal spot. I mean, it really is an ideal kind of location where it's being built out. You got Braden that's coming in too, a little while down the road down on Douglas. But I look at it and I'm just like, it's kind of like I know a lot of people might go to the Rancho area and go, oh, kind of it's in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, but they're building around it where it's going to be the center spot, right? You're going to have like what? Folsom here, Elk Grove here, downtown Sacramento over there. I mean, you're going to have that access once the infrastructure gets put in. And right now, you get those price points that honestly, Rancho overtook every single spot in the Sacramento area. And now it's the number one new home. It's like the new home selling capital of the Sacramento area. Everyone's buying there because the price point is affordable. There's no better incentives in all of the Sacramento area. Taylor Morrison's going to be building their new community out there as well too. And you've got so many competitive builders that you as a buyer, if you're looking for that area, if you're looking for a new home, you're going to win. Why? Oh, I don't know. You got Elliott who's building 3 communities. You have Pulte that's building 2 communities. You have Woodside that's building 4 collections or whatever they're calling it. Who else you got? You got Beezer, you got Khav, you got TriPoint. And I know, and Lennar's out there as well too. I mean, you have so many builders that are competing for you guys that you got the best incentives and the price point is staying relatively decent. I mean, you could still get like under 5s, or in the 5s, and you can get a really nice house in the area that's thriving, developing, growing, and everything too. And like I said, we've just to hit the tippy top talking about the Braden project, which should be something people are really, really interested about as well too. So yeah, I'm with Corey. I think Rancho is a good spot. I don't know if there's anywhere in Sacramento that you can get a better bang for your buck for a new home than Rancho and be in the Elk Grove Unified School District as well too. I mean, that's
Yep.
pretty good, no?
Oh yeah, it's killer. And there's a lot of diversity there in property type. So you have a lot of commercial property. So if you own a small business, you need a warehouse, boom, you can get it right there in Rancho. Where in a place like Folsom or Elk Grove, that's tougher to get. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of diversity in the types of properties that are there, and I think it's just primed to explode over the next 10, 20 years.
We're in a good spot. All we need is rates to drop just a little bit, a nice jobs report, or maybe, well, depends on how you want. If you want low rates, bad job report, but All right. So we got Sam hitting it again. Also, do you think California has more restrictive building standards and processes protects the value of the real estate more than other states where it's much easier to build, especially in market downturns? What do you think, Corey?
Um, I don't know if that's their goal with how many restrictions they
Yeah.
have on building, but I definitely think it does because if you price out, you know, buying a plot of land and building, having a home created, a custom home, or even just kind of a spec home drafted, and then you look at permitting fees, the environmental stuff you have to do, and to put that all together, you're paying a premium for that home that there's a good chance it's probably not going to be worth what you put into it to build. And that's why resale and new homes have really just taken the limelight, and a lot of people aren't looking at building. So I think that definitely does inadvertently protect real estate values in the area. Um, Obviously, there are some opportunities that you can invest in a plot of land and build something to spec that's going to pay off. But most of the time, if it's a primary residence, the numbers just don't work to build, especially with all the hoops that you have to go through. And you can't build something here in 6 months like you can in other states. It's going to take you a year at least, if not 2 years, before you can sleep in that house.
All right, we got video guy Matt. I hope this government shutdown freaks buyers out a bit and further crashes demand. What do you think, Corey?
I mean, I think there's a chance. It all depends on how long it lasts, right? I mean, there's sometimes when the government shuts down and then 48 hours later we're back in action. Um, I think, it's all dependent on how much pressure is put on both sides of the aisle to get this thing up and running. And based on the news headlines that are out there right now, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of motivation to get it back out there. But think about how many people are employed by the government, not just in Sacramento as a whole, but just across the country. That's definitely going to play a role in people's plans on the market. And the real estate market, it takes news and things like market rate drops, and it takes time to process and see that actually affect the market. So, depending on how long this shutdown goes, if it goes a week or 2 weeks or 48 hours, we might not even see that actually, as it might be a blip on the radar in the real estate world. If it goes for some long period of time, extended period of time, which I really hope for the greater benefit of our nation, all the people employed by the government, that it doesn't. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it would be tough to see it actually play a major factor in the market, just because the real estate market as a whole reacts so slowly to most of this stuff.
Well, I think also people just tendency like, I mean, if you're someone who's looking to buy, for example, and all of a sudden you hear about this, it's not going to make you feel too good. You know what I mean? It's probably going to make you feel a little nervous about the market, about the economy, about everything else. So I don't know. I mean, definitely couldn't. This definitely didn't come at a good time. You know what I mean? Like this definitely was one of those things that I think for a lot of people, probably like, this is one of those things that, I mean, maybe with everything going on with the government, everyone was still on pins and needles, but this is just horrible, especially you got during the holiday season. The other thing too is like, I mean, we're talking the IRS too, all these extensions being filed and everything too. Timing, my friend, timing. All right. What do you guys think in the comments? Do you guys think the government shutdown will last throughout the holiday season? Or do you think it'll be one of those things where in a week we will have forgotten all about it? I want to know what you guys think in the comments. All right. Matt Video Guy says, Matt, my pencil is sharpened. DocuSign. I'm ready to start pumping out some lowball offers. Actually, what the house is worth. I'll tell you, one of the houses that I saw, this is crazy. Okay. So I go up to Toll Brothers, Hidden Ridge, and I saw this house. It was a Denali. It was like really, really nice size backyard. There was like literally nothing wrong with this Denali. And every single Denali sold for like maybe 1.5, 1.6 or something like that. I mean, Denali's, and this thing was sitting. I couldn't figure it. So I think you've got to realize, like I said, it's not really so much, it can be about the community, the areas, whatever, but at the same time, figure out what the seller's pain points are if you're going to go in. I think some houses, don't just look at them and say, you know what, there's got to be something wrong with that house. There could be just a situation where the person just needs to sell, and I think what you might see is, I think video guy Matt might have a lot of competition, a lot of people just throwing out lowball offers. Because the agent that was housing the open house, who's a listing agent, said, yeah, we listed it originally for like 1.5 and we got a 1.1 offer. And she's like, so I think video guy Matt, unless you're throwing out offers already, I think you are probably in the majority of what's going to happen during the season. I think, and Corey alluded to it earlier in the broadcast. You were like, I mean, hinting, hint, hint, hint to my clients. Do what makes sense, right, Corey?
Yep, do what makes sense. I mean, don't be scared to write offers. As a buyer, you're so protected in California, and there's so many ways out of making an offer if you don't like the house that there's really no risk. Your deposit is so protected when you do go into an escrow. As a buyer in California, the contract is essentially written to protect the buyer. So don't be scared to do that. And I have a lot of clients that are getting creative financing deals. So seller financing, where if the seller owns the house outright, you can work with them and you don't even have to go out and get a bank loan. You essentially have the seller be the bank. So you can get some pretty amazing deals with getting a little creative on the financing side. You just need an agent team that can back you up and support you in that and be able to find those deals for you because they're definitely more rare.
Yeah, no, I 100%. I mean, you just gotta, like I said, I mean, you guys, having a realtor that actually just goes above and beyond to like, talk to the listing agent, just stick with them, figure out pain points, also talk to a lender to see if the house is paid off, all that stuff. Like, it's just, there's so much that goes into I mean, just don't throw out low ball offers. You got to kind of figure out if it's even worth it to put a pen to paper. Another thing I will say, Scott says, Corey, do you flip any houses? One thing I will say about Corey, now that he went to the commercial space, he does no residential. Just joking. Corey also does residential and everything too. His primary focus right now, he loves commercial and everything too. But I mean, he is always out there in his car, driving around, showing homes as well too. So Corey is like a Swiss Army knife in the Sacramento area. So if you're thinking that just because he's got all this commercial knowledge that he's not shown residential, you could not be further from the truth. In fact, I've seen Corey list homes in Lake Tahoe. So the guy does it all. So hopefully that clears up
I
anything. All right,
appreciate
so let's
that.
get this. Scott says, Corey, do you flip any houses?
I've thought about it. I source a ton of flips. I probably help buyers buy and sell flips, probably 20 to 25 a year. I work for a couple institutions and institutional investors, which I know piss off most, normal buyers in the world because they're buying up these houses and flipping them and making a profit on it. But it is a large part of the market. I've had some money kind of set aside looking for a flip of my own, but I've decided to go a different route with that money, still investing in real estate, but haven't done any flips except I would call my own home essentially a live-in flip is what I call it. Bought an outdated house, did the sweat equity, got a good deal on it. Um, but the margins on most of the flips out there are getting a little bit thinner. We're having
Yeah.
we're seeing a lot of these margins get thinned out, not because of the list price, but because of the competitive offers that are driving up those list price, where the numbers just barely work. So you have to, if you're going to flip houses or you're interested in that, the way to be profitable is to have your your rehab team and your budgets dialed in. You need to make sure that you're not cutting corners, you're not going to have a crappy house at the end of it all, but that you're going to be able to get in there, get the work done. You're always going to encounter headaches and surprises, but be able to handle those things quickly and then get out. But if you're going to buy it and kind of lollygag or try to do it all on your own, or just flip a house with two or three guys, usually the holding costs will outpace any of the profit that you'll get. So you can definitely do it. I'm doing it all every day in Sacramento, but yeah, you just really have to have your crew in line. That's really where it comes down.
All right, let's see this one. We got Scott saying we have to get this one for 200K. And lucky for you, we got. All right,
Oh,
so
there
you
we
want
go.
this thing? You love it? I mean, come on. Who has a better show than this? Guys, we got some props for you and everything. Look at this. What do you think? $300,000, 3 bedroom, 2 bath.
So this is a prime example. So I these are the types of houses I go on market and off market, and agents send me houses like this all the time saying, "Hey, do you got a buyer for something like this?" I get it in the hands of my fix and flippers, and we run all the numbers on it. Um, this one is pretty rough, but you know I'd be surprised. This just came on market. I wouldn't be surprised if they're getting offers at the 320, 330, 350 range, to where, a lot of fix and flippers are looking at this like, oh, if I can get this at asking or slightly below, the numbers work. But in reality, it could sell for significantly more of that. Now, without going to the house or seeing it and fully evaluating it, it's hard to say where it'll land. And you have to account for things like trash out. You could be. I have a house that we're most likely going to get accepted on tonight, and they have all kinds of old appliances there. They have hazmat stuff, paint cans, things of oil, gasoline. There's a boat on a trailer that's just trash, and we have to deal with all of that. So we have a $15,000 line item just for clearing out the house, and those are some things that could bite you. Wow, that house is pretty rough.
I'm thinking I might contact the agent, do a luxury home tour of this thing for the channel. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, and then
In a
the most important
hazmat
thing is
suit with a tie.
yes, yes. You don't want to be personally trashing out those houses. You got to protect yourself. But yeah, the biggest thing is finding out, your after repair value. That's like the number one thing is it's ARV. So after repair value on something like this, you got to look at comps in the area. What are they selling for? Make sure you're looking at the appropriate comps. You don't want to be looking at a 1,500 square foot house or a 2,000 square foot house that's sold in the area. You want to be looking at something between, 800 to 1,200 square feet, and make sure your numbers are in line.
That is
Wow, there's got to
rough,
be
man.
some critters inside that thing. There's got to be some animals living in that, a bunch of rats and gerbils.
Dude, that's crazy. Okay, that's nuts.
I can smell that photo.
You can smell it out here. All right, video guy Matt, or let me say, video guy said, Matt says, I flipped many homes, but wouldn't touch that one. 200K. It's only for the bold, man. It's only for the bold. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, maybe I do a home tour. I put a hazmat suit on and I go out there, man, get attacked by some critters. All right. So guys, if you guys also like, especially with Corey's on the show, because he's such a rock star about this, if you ever want to throw up some flips or commercial stuff too, I'll bring them up and we can review them with you guys as well too. This is crazy. All right, I want to go through one more time the rail yards, and then we'll hit the Sacramento market just a little bit because I have some fun. I have more stuff that I brought for you guys. Look at this area though, where the rail yards is gonna be located. Isn't that pretty? I mean, I think people forget how much waterfront kind of downtown, like, I think we got to use it better. I think that it's a shame that we have like the Sacramento River, all that, I love the fact that the old Sacramento is getting like a $3 million facelift, but we have so much nice land by the water that we could be utilizing better. It would showcase the city in the best way. Don't you think, Corey?
Oh, 100%. And then you get this like kind of tourism traffic from the Delta. I mean, the Delta is a huge freeway essentially to bring people up from Discovery Bay and all these other areas that are along the water. They can hop in their boat, drive up, catch a Sac Republic game, hang out in downtown, stay overnight, or just go home that night. Just along the Delta, it's a huge asset to downtown.
And for you guys who are
And I
seeing
think
this, okay,
West
so this
Sac
is
is going
West
to
Sac.
benefit from this too. Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I heard. West Sacramento, see that lot near the pyramids or on this side right here? I hear they're thinking about putting in another Kimpton Sawyer hotel there. I heard rumors about that or something. They're putting some hotel somewhere there or something like this. And I heard everyone saying, oh, it's the lot next to the pyramid. So imagine if you had a Kimpton kind of hotel right there, right on overlooking the water. How nice would that be? And this is West Sacramento, guys, over here. And I think this is old Sacramento right here that they're doing a facelifts as well too. So I don't know. I'm excited for a lot of this like revamping of downtown, the waterfront district as well too. I love it. So let's get you some specs on the rail yards and then we'll close it for the night on that one. And then we'll go to some more questions and talk about the market. All right. 244 acre urban infill development. Okay. We got mixed use, like Corey said. One of its goals is to double the size of downtown Sacramento in terms of footprint and activity. That is aggressive. I like that though. All right. So planned build out includes, but not limited to 10,000 residential units, affordable, quote, subjective, affordable, 6 million square feet, commercial office spaces, what's called 1,100 hotel keys. I'm not sure what that is. 41 acres of parks, open space, and everything too. A medical campus, Kaiser Permanente, over 18 acres. Look at that. That's crazy. adaptive reuse, historical central shops, building culture. That's gonna be nice. All right. You got the, like you mentioned, the senior apartments, 150 residential units, the Wong Center over there, public market. It's gonna be a nice spot, guys. And like I said, for you guys out there who've been wanting more things to do in the Sacramento area, this Railyards thing is a huge, huge deal here in Sacramento. I'd love to interview someone who's actually, like, deep in the heart of this project so we can get some, inside scoop, maybe even talk to some of the people at Sacramento Republic. That'd be awesome. But there we go, guys. In a nutshell, that is the Railyards Stadium project, Sacramento Republic in Sacramento. What do you guys think? Are you guys excited about this? Are you excited about the things happening in Sacramento? Corey, are you? How are you? Excited about
Oh,
this or what?
oh, absolutely. It's going to be an amazing transition to watch over the next 10 years that they build this place out. It's going to be really cool, and I'll definitely be going down there more to just watch the progress of it. So I mean, doubling the footprint of downtown Sacramento in a 10-year span. I mean, that's just almost seems unattainable, but they have plans to do it. And most of this stuff, like the Dova, just to put it in comparison, that is, it has kind of a runway, if you will. But the Sac Republic and the whole Rail Yards project is essentially permitted and entitled. So this stuff is happening. They're going to be moving forward on this. It's all ready to go. I know there was some financial wrinkles that they ran into at the beginning, but all of that's sorted and it's moving forward. So Sacramento's changing big time.
Didn't Shaquille O'Neal say if the stadium's named after him, he'll pay for the whole thing? No, I'm joking, just joking. Okay, so let's keep talking about the market a little bit here. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. Also, if you're enjoying the live broadcast with Corey, please smash that like button, leave a comment, share the video. We'd appreciate it. Also, if you guys have specific like addresses or areas or whatnot you want us to go over, let us know. I can pull them up in our visual, nice little iPad I have here, and we'll pull up all that kind of stuff for you. All right. So let's talk about the market in general. Corey, what are you seeing out there?
Yeah, I think a couple weeks ago I saw a pretty significant downturn in activity in the market. Just it seemed like listings kind of stalled out there. Even well-priced listings were kind of stalling out. In the past week and a half or so, I'm seeing it kind of on a micro scale because I'm in it, but I'm seeing it kind of pick up slightly. Maybe some of this stuff with interest rates coming down a little bit put people into an affordability range that they can make this stuff work. But overall, I think it should be a relatively steady winter. I think we're going to kind of continue at the pace we're at unless anything changes, and pending this government shutdown. But with a steady market, a lot of people start looking away from the market, so that creates opportunities for buyers. So if you're looking to buy, you're interested in the market, I would pay attention. If you're looking to sell, I would have a hard conversation with your agent and really look at your life and see what's going to be the best move for you, whether getting on the market now or waiting until the springtime to see how this stuff shakes out for the rest of the year.
Oh my God. Okay, so I'm going to a listing appointment tomorrow in Verdera, Cavadera area. And I was talking to the person, they were listing with another agent. And it was so funny. He was like, I'm like, did you guys do a video of the house? Can I see what it looks like? He's like, no, my agent didn't do a video. I'm like, they didn't
Oh
do a
no.
video? I'm like, did they do photos? Oh, they did photos, but they didn't do a video. And this, for me, it's just, there's a little bit of laziness out in the market. For me, I kid you not. If you guys saw on this channel that Newcastle video I dropped maybe like 3 weeks ago, I got about 10 people who reached out directly from that video inquiring about the house as well too. So videos are crazy. They work. And whoever you're working with realtor wise, just get them in front of the house, have them talk about how amazing that house is. It's just, it really does. It just, I mean, it really does help, guys. Anything you can do to basically jump start a listing, you just got to do it. And a lot of people are like, well, what does a video mean? See, here's a trick about videos, and this is the beautiful part. In videos, if you talk a little bit about the house and you actually like show why it's an amazing house, it might not get that person who's already looking at the MLS or Zillow or whatever, but it's going to get that person who might not even consider moving to Sacramento, might not realize how an amazing house this is, and it's located in Sacramento. And you don't understand how many people have pivoted. So many people have actually called me up and said, I'd never considered Sacramento, but I saw this video. It's amazing that I can get there. That in Sacramento, let's talk. And that's the new wave of everything that happens. So for me, I don't know. I would say get your realtor to do a video, get him to be or he or she or whatever in front of the video as well too. That would just be my 2 cents. All right, Corey, we got this. Oh, guys, if you're enjoying the video, if you're enjoying the live broadcast, smash that like button. Okay. Sam Allen says, what do you guys think, or what cities do you guys think have at least have the least amount of traffic surrounding Sacramento?
Hmm. I mean, I definitely the surrounding, they call it the Tri-County area. So Placer County, I mean, Placer County has some trafficy areas, but once you get into kind of the foothill areas, that's kind of where I live, is just kind of out of that hustle and bustle. Um, I think with all of this new building, traffic's going to change dramatically in the Sacramento area. Um, Places like Rancho Cordova, Folsom are already getting impacted by that, but they're making
Yeah.
improvements to the roads, so I think that'll help. Um, I would say those foothill areas just outside, you get a little bit larger lot, you get a little bit of cheaper property, as long as you're not getting into fire hazard territory and fire insurance territory, the traffic dies down quite a bit. I mean, even just from like if you're heading out on the 50 from downtown Sacramento, once you hit Bradshaw, from Bradshaw to Folsom, it dies down. It's like half the amount of traffic. So, the further out you are from the kind of the city center, the less you'll have to deal with that traffic. But between commuting hours, 4 to 6 p.m. or whatever, you're going to catch quite a bit of traffic even off of the highways.
Yeah. I'd say, I think you hit a really valid point there. It depends if you have to go to downtown, right? If you have to go to downtown, I gotta say, like, no matter where you live in Sacramento, you're gonna be bumping into traffic with all the stuff they're doing the 50, with all the arteries they have instead of like having that big, nice freeway like most metro areas have. I think you're gonna run into traffic. If you're looking for areas that you don't really have to deal with traffic and you're just living in that area, Lincoln's pretty good. There's not a whole lot of traffic happening there. I would say areas like Roseville, like especially by the 65 and 80, that's just always kind of a nightmare for me. I would say also like the Citrus Heights that are kind of inland and the Orange Vales as well too, where you got to cruise around the arteries and everything too. I would say Folsom is getting pretty brutal right now with all the new homes being built and everything too. I mean, that East Bidwell
Yeah.
exit at 5 or 9 is just not fun. I would say if you live in Cameron Park or you live in Shingle Springs or El Dorado Hills, maybe not the Serrano kind of area, but I think if you live around that area, you're not going to get too heavy traffic. I think it's going to be pretty light as far as driving. If you're
Mhm.
driving, like if you're going to the store, right? I think you're good. Um, Rockland, I think you'd be, nah, I don't know. Rockland has its, by Roseville, I think it's still a little cluster. I think Rockland, like the Whitney Ranch area and everything too, once they build the Whitney Ranch Parkway area, I think you'd be fine a little bit more in the 65. What do you think? Do you kind of, it depends where you're
I
driving,
completely
right?
agree. Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, if you're in between the two arteries, like you said, the 80 or the 50, there's a lot of kind of, stop and go traffic light traffic. There's just, it just kind of gets congested in those areas, especially during commuting times. But if you have an opportunity to work from home or you have a local job, those foothill type of properties, um, that's kind of where I live. I'm all over the place anyway. I'm in traffic every day. But
Yeah.
like you said, going to the store for me, it's a typical 5 to 7 minute drive every single time. If there's traffic, there's an accident or something going on.
Yeah, I'd say if you got to deal with Sierra College, if you got to deal with like Sunrise, Bradshaw, those at least for me. And now that East Bidwell 50, that's just brutal. Or the 50 or the 80 and 65. Those are the like little spots where it just seems like it's like you're in Google Maps. It's like blue, 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 red. And you always know exactly where that is. And if you got to deal with Sunrise, I feel bad for you because I have to now and again, and I just hate Sunrise. Sierra, like Hazel and Sierra also, that's just brutal as well too. And now also I gotta say, like, the 50 isn't fun, with all the construction they have going on, but hopefully that'll change as of next year. Um, I do think that, like I said, I think Sacramento is a great place to live. I love Sacramento in general, as far as everything coming in, the value, the location, everything could. But the biggest Achilles heel of Sacramento is our lack thereof infrastructure and our lack thereof public transportation. Those are the two things that if someone was like, okay, Mark, it's like an job interview, tell me things you don't like about yourself. Like those would be the things about Sacramento that for me, I think are a little annoying. It's just the fact we lack of infrastructure where we don't have that freeway going around our entire metro area, which would make it so much easier for us to drive. and also public transportation. Because I think a lot of people probably would take public transportation if public transportation in the Sacramento area was decent. And now, because there's so many new homes being built, we're really feeling the traffic. You know what I mean, Corey?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've always been kind of creative with my routes too. I always, it's never like, oh, this is my one way to get someplace. I always know, and you learn those over time as living here. If I can get off on this exit, take the side street, cut up, get around this accident or whatever. And so I've gotten used to doing that and finding my own little secret shortcuts, where on a normal day it takes you longer to go that way. But hey, if I can be moving and get there a minute later, but be moving and not just be stagnant there, I'll take that little side route. And there's quite a few of those in the Sacramento area, so you can usually find a little back road or find something to a way to get around it.
If you go to the description, you can download Corey's Secret Routes. It's a PDF. Corey will put up. All right, so we got Sam. If the unemployment, oh sorry, I drank something with bubbles. All right, if an unemployment recession debt crisis happens next year, what impact do you think that would have on our real estate market? What do you think, Corey?
Um, you'll definitely see rates drop. I guess it'll depend on where that recession is hitting most and kind of where it's headed from. Um, the debt crisis will probably just affect everybody. That will push rates far lower, which then in turn, when money gets cheaper, people are willing to borrow more of it. So the way it could affect the real estate market is drastic. You'll see more homes coming to market, but then you'll see probably buyers offering over asking for those things. So it could be twofold. It's really hard to say how it'll affect the market and where it's based from. The last financial crisis was all from bad loans, and so that was directly related to the real estate market. Um, and then kind of relating to the commercial space, the commercial loans are different. You're not in a 30-year fix at the same rate the entire time. They change over every 5 to 7 years. You're in your rate for 5 to 7 years, and then it changes. So we're seeing a lot of these institutions be in a position of where they have this really low rate, and now that loan is maturing, and they're going to have to go from a 3 to a 6, and that could have a bigger impact on the commercial space. But people were talking about this last year and the year before too, and it didn't have nearly as large of an impact over this last year as people expected it to. So, um, yeah, I think it could push rates down almost for sure. What that will do to buyers and the market, it's tough to say.
Well, okay, so let's say unemployment does well. That's the thing. If unemployment, if let's say for example, we get into a streak where like people who thought they had rock solid jobs are starting to get laid off, right? What you're going to probably see is interest rates aren't fantastic at this moment, so you're probably going to see people sell houses, probably more houses for sale, and people try to get out of them. They'll probably go the rental route at first, trying to rent them out, and then they'll probably just say, we just got to get rid of the house. The hardest part about that is the idea that if they do sell the house, which they'd probably sell a little bit of a loss if they bought it within the last couple of years, then all of a sudden they're jumping into a rental market in Sacramento that, depending on what they got, could be pretty competitive what they're paying as a mortgage. So it's a tough one. I mean, I hope it doesn't happen. But I think what you'll see is an increase in inventory. Now, here's the crux of the problem. And this is something for you guys all to consider as well, too. This is a huge one. And hopefully you guys all know this as well, too. If you're buying a new home, if you're buying like this areas that Corey and I mentioned, like the Ranchos and the West Rosevilles, all these areas where they're building a ton of houses. If you go right now and you do buy a brand new home, let's say in Rancho, and you get yourself an amazing house and you're loving your house and everything too. This is the biggest thing. And this is something to definitely keep your eye on. If you decide to sell your house within a couple of years or whatnot, you're going to be competing against brand new homes that are being built in that same area. You're going to be competing against like an Elliott home that's selling for the same price you're selling and giving a way more competitive rate. If you are buying new homes, that's going to be and you're going to go sell your new home after a couple of years, that's going to be your competition as well too. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind as well too. Just be wary of that. If you guys are buying a new home, you're going to be kind of stuck in it, or you're going to, because what I've been seeing right now, Corey, in Rancho is a lot of people have been trying to sell some homes in Rancho.
Mhm.
They're sitting. They're sitting. They're not moving. Why? Well, you got KHOV, you got Woodside, you got TriPoint, you got Lennar, you got all these people that are either cutting prices or they're giving insane interest rates, and it just is hard to compete against that. So just be really understand
Right.
that's one of those things you're gonna have
And
to kind of deal with.
another thing I would say is I would probably say that you'd see the luxury market, large homes and luxury homes be affected more. Um, and keep in mind that a lot of people, if you bought during the COVID era or the 2.75% interest rate, you're sitting on a ton of equity. So if this does happen, I would say that it could get far more competitive on your more bread and butter homes, the 3.2s, 1,500 square feet to 2,000 square feet. You'll see people going from a 5 bedroom, 4 bath house in a luxurious or a luxury home down to that home and leveraging their equity to lower their payment dramatically. So that could increase your competition on getting your typical home in the area from people kind of liquidating some of their assets they have equity in and going into the kind of more mainstream market. So it could get more competitive, and you see more cash offers in that instance too.
All right, we got a question from Sam. Here's another one for you guys. 250 a square foot for a new construction home backing up to Anatolia in EG USD. Elk Grove
Elk Grove
Unified School
School
District.
District.
Yeah, is a good square footage in today's world. It all depends on the house, on the finishes, on what it looks like. Because a lot of times the square footage depends on the type of finishes you have. If you have a pool, the size of backyard, and everything too. If it's a nice home, who's a builder as well too. I mean, 250 isn't bad, but like I said, it's going to be more about like those finishes you got. It's going to be about the yard. It's going to be about the curb appeal. There's a lot of factors that plays into it. But I mean, just generally off my head, 250, it depends on the square. Yeah, that's not too far off. What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, that doesn't sound too far off to me. It sounds kind of average, if you would say. I would say that's pretty common in the area. And then it also a big factor that plays into price per square foot is size of the home. If price per square foot on a 3,000 square foot home is going to be vastly different than a 1,500. The 1,500 square foot home is going to have a higher price per square foot. So it depends on the size, location, finishes, builder quality, all of that stuff, upgrades. Um, yeah, it's tough. Price per square foot's a good kind of general model. I wouldn't purchase only on that.
Yeah. I mean, I would say if you do price per square foot, I look at it, I always like to have more of a range as opposed to like a finite 250, right? Like at the high and low, depends on if something's really dialed in or if something like, it's just kind of standard upgrade. So, all right, Video Guy
Yeah,
Matt
reach out to
says,
one of us because we have tools that can run that for you and show price per square foot in a certain geographic area. We can run that pretty simply.
yeah, 100%. Okay. It would be really interesting data to see the percentage of new home buyers in Sacramento in recent years on visa versus permanent residents. Major visa changes recently could impact demand going forward. For me, I got to say, our team probably does more new homes than any other team in the Sacramento area, period. I mean, we've done so many. We work with almost every single builder. We've been working with people that are, I mean, we haven't come across anyone who isn't a permanent resident that has been buying. And that's not me saying good, bad, and different. That's just our history. And that just to give you a little heads up on that. All right. Amber says, any info on Toll in Rockland, Vista Oaks? Vista Oaks, what I heard, no views, and they're going to be using a lot of the floor plans currently that are at what's called Folsom Preserve, where the Vulcan is, the Heritage Trails. They're not going to have models opened up there too, and they've been selling really nicely. And one that is probably what I've been hearing at Toll, because I got on a call with them a little while ago, and they basically said that their primary buyer right now has been doctors and nurses because the location is so good to the freeway that a lot of them love that direct access and they're able to access the hospitals really fast too. So I've been hearing that left and right. Will it be gated? No, I heard that it won't, but let me verify the gating from Mo over there at Toll Brothers. I'm not 100% sure on the gating. I don't think it will be because I mentioned it and they said, no, it's going to be just like Preserve, but I'll double check on that for you. But like I said, they're already selling it because here's one of the things for like a lot of the doctors and nurses that live in the area. this community is going to be like right by the 80 and 65. So it has good access to like downtown UC Davis Medical Center and all the hospitals. So one of the things that we've run into is that because of the freeway, because of the traffic and everything too, they needed to get kind of like this community has been just selling out or doing really, really well with doctors, which is interesting because I know Preserve is a little bit on the ropes as well too. So I don't know, but let me double check about that for the gate for you. Dear Mark, you do professional videos. Absolutely. Thank you, Wendy. I appreciate it. I'm going to be doing one. We did one on Monday for this East Sacramento brand new custom home that we're going to drop. And I'm going to be dropping one on Friday of this house that actually just saw a $200,000 price reduction. It's crazy. It's nuts. It's good deal too. All right. Brandon says East Roseville, you can get away with limited traffic. Yeah, I think you can. I mean, it all depends. Like I said, like Corey hit the nail on the head. If you know an area really, really well, you're going to know how to bypass a bunch of stuff, right? If you're new to the area, you could get stuck in East Roseville. But yeah, the East Roseville part that butts up with Granite Bay. I mean, what, Douglas? Yeah, I don't see that as being that bad, honestly. I think, yeah. What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Like, you have Eureka, you have Douglas kind of cutting through, going into Granite Bay. There's a lot of little side streets. That it gets a little more grid-like over there where the streets cut straight across and there's a lot of different pathways you can take. I'd agree with that. I haven't had too much issue unless there's like a major accident or something that backs up the thoroughfares. I haven't had any major traffic issues in the East Roseville area.
All right, we got Bernardo says we'll be transferring to Elk Grove for work. What areas should I look to buy a home if I'm looking for something under $550,000? Would Rancho not be a good choice because of the commute? I'm going to tag in Video Guy Matt to this as well too because I love his input. Rent. Can rent something very nice in Elk Grove for less than the cost to own. Can't buy something nice in Elk Grove for $550. Okay, Corey, what do you think about that?
Nice is subjective. So yeah, I think there's still opportunities to get into something at 550. Is it going to be in your ideal area? Again, very subjective. I would say the commute from Rancho, it depends what you consider a commute, what you're used to. I grew up in LA and used to have an hour and a half commute each way, and that wasn't nearly as bad as some of my colleagues that I was working with. So, and then I move here and it's like a game changer, life changer. So it depends where you're coming from. The Grant Line is a little hack. Grant Line Road is a hack to get from Elk Grove to Rancho, and I love
Yeah.
that commute. It's a fast 2-lane road. It moves very quickly. One accident can jam it up, but again, there's other ways around it. So if you're looking at Elk Grove, if you're getting transferred to there, I would definitely look in. I would also look at like Pocket, Delta Shores area, some areas adjacent to it. But it's not that bad of a commute in my mind. If you have to take 50 all the way in and into downtown and then cut down either 5 or 99 to Elk Grove, that could be brutal if you're going for difficult typical commute times.
All right, I'm going to throw some curveballs at you, Bernardo. Here's what I would say. Galt could be an option right now. They got some new homes and the pricing is pretty decent over there as well too. I would say maybe Vineyard, Wild Hawk. I think it's Wild Hawk North, Taylor Morrison. It's in the 500s. They have two communities, south and north. One of them is around in the mid 500s as well too. Taylor Morrison's a good builder. It's one of the communities, honestly, it's actually like they're not doing too bad out there as well too. So that could be an area. I'm with Corey also too. I mean, here's the thing. Here's a rub on the whole situation is you're going to go to Elk Grove and I know where you're going to go. You're going to go to Elk Grove and you're going to go to KB. You're going to go to KB and you're going to see their community. I think it's West something or another, West Borough, West something, because that's going to be the community. It's a single story community and you can get something for like $550 there. You're going to go in there and you're not going to like it. Then you're going to go to Rancho, which is going to be a little further away, like maybe 15 minutes away. You're going to go into Rancho and then you're going to see Tri-Point and you're going to see what you can get in Elk Grove in Rancho, and you're going to see a way bigger house. And that's going to be one of the biggest things that's going to be tough for you. It's going to be the idea of like in Rancho, the bang for your buck goes so much further than Elk Grove. Elk Grove is one of the most competitive markets there is in our area. So it's going to be tough. I would say if it was me, I'd look at Galt. I would look at Vineyard. I would look at Rancho, and I'd look at that one KB community in Elk Grove. Those would be the ones I'd look at myself if I'm sticking around that 550 price range. Um, and it's going to be up to you. It's going to be, and this is, we work with clients all the time, and it's kind of like, do you want to live in Elk Grove and buy something that it's pretty good, it's okay, or do you want to move to like a rancho or a vineyard where you can get something bigger for your, and you know, your dollar stretches a little bit, and that's completely up to you what you want to do. But those are the areas I'd probably look at. All right. Boom, boom. Next question. Following up on my square foot question, is 2850 square foot home, Pulte new build, 3-car tandem garage, 5-bedroom, 3-bath. Very nice finishes, own solar, 720K, 3.997. I think that's, I mean, that's a great rate. I like Pulte as a builder. They build crazy houses with a lot of bedrooms too. I think you're in good shape. I wouldn't stress too much about it. I would say though, in the Rancho area, what I see as a sweet spot, and Corey, correct me if I'm wrong, I would say the sweet spot in Rancho tends to be around the 550 to 650. That seems to be a bulk of the building in Rancho. But like I said, I see Crestley building houses around 720, just like this. So I think you'll be in good shape. But again, like one of the things that's going to get you about that Rancho area in general, and like the West Roseville area and everything too, if you guys go to sell your homes within the next 3 years, there's still going to be building out there, and that's who you're going to be competing against. What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It doesn't sound like a terrible deal. It looked nice house and a killer rate. I would definitely check the terms on that arm. Make sure that adjustable rate mortgage so you know where that's going to go, and then plan accordingly. If you're going to know you're going to stay there for 10 years, um, then yeah, and you're not going to have to resell in 2 to 3 years and compete with the new home builders, then you could be in a great spot. Um, I would just keep an eye out and tour everything that's similar to that in that price range, even resale homes.
All right, we got this. Looking at Blue Oak Boulevard and surrounding areas in Roseville, Lincoln, any insight I can get into these things? Blue Oaks Boulevard, you know, that whole area kind of, I like that area. It's like it bleeds into, I think, Fittyment and everything as well over there too. That area, you know, it's very, I love the West Roseville area. I think that very up and coming, very new. The Costco already started building out there as well too. So the Costco is probably gonna be, you know, ready to rock and roll in about 7 months. They have a new
Mhm.
water park out there too. West Roseville is fantastic. It's going to connect into Placer Vineyards, Placer One. Then you keep on going a little further. You got Bickford. I like that area. I think if you're looking for a home right now, new home, the only houses you're probably going to be able to get under 600 at this point, it's probably select floor plans like at Beezer. The area's price point just increased, you know, and they're building some amazing communities out there. Amarosa Ranch, Winding Creek, like Fittyment, Solaire, and everything too. But it's a nice area. I mean, it's just growing and growing and growing. I mean, that whole area, how it's gonna like Corey, it's gonna be like West Roseville, and then it's gonna kind of bleed into like Placer Vineyards, Placer One. You got the Placer Expressway. Bickford is a little bit further off. Then you got Lincoln. I mean, that whole area is gonna develop like crazy, don't you think?
Yeah, it's it's growing so fast. It's crazy. And I know that the school districts are even having to change and shift and adjust, and the school districts that people bought to stay in, now they're cut out of. And so if schools are important to you, definitely look into that too, because I've had some clients personally that bought in that area and, kind of bought there for the schools, and then 5 years later they're getting shifted to a different school district. So um, pay attention to those things. It is pretty flat out there, I would say. If you like some elevation change, um, it might not be the area for you. But if you're already looking into it, it's probably already has the things that you're looking for. So I say go for it. It's a great location.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just growing. I mean, that whole area is just gonna be so crazy. 2030. Not that you have to wait for that long, but I'm just saying, like by that time, you're gonna see a little bit of like the imprint of what the future of that area is gonna be like. The water park, Costco. It's gonna be crazy. Like we're the funniest thing is it's not just that area, it's also then you look at West Sacramento, you look at Elk Grove, you look at like the Vineyard area itself too, you look at Rancho. All these areas are simultaneously like growing, right? I mean, you know, there's projects in all these other areas, and they're doing it simultaneously. It's crazy, like how the entire area is just growing like at the same time, you know, like Folsom Ranch.
Yeah.
UC Davis, like the sports arena or sports center, they're putting there as well too. for me, it's just amazing the amount of growth that's happening in the Sacramento area. And like I said, all this stuff is happening simultaneously. So as West Roseville is built out, West Sacramento is going to be developing the same way. Elk Grove is going to be so yeah, for me, it's amazing the amount of growth, the amount of stuff that's happening in the Sacramento area. Like I love this spot. Like it's just, there's something I learn about new projects and new things almost on a daily basis. All right, here we go. We got Scott. Crazy the parts of Sacramento can push these kinds of values, but of course it's Granite Bay, 950 Chelsea States Court. What is
I
that? I'm gonna
pulled it
say
up. It's listed at, it's a 4 bed, 7 bath, 7,800 square feet, listed for 5.275.
I'm
Well,
gonna tell you
it's
something.
actually closed. So closed at that price.
I'm gonna tell you something. The craziest thing is, like, you'll look at homes in Sacramento, and like, I'm from the Bay, and sometimes I look at Sacramento, I'm like, oh, that's way too much. I'm like, that's crazy. And it's the craziest thing is that I look at a house and I say, that is just no way, no chance. And I look at the MLS the next day, and it's like gone, and it's just blows my mind. I'm with you, Scott,
Yeah.
completely 100%. I see houses like this one house in Loomis, I think sold for like $10 million. This house in like, and I'm like 10 million. I mean, man, what I could get in Santa Barbara for that. But like it just, yeah, I'm with you. So it's crazy. Like
And
sometimes,
I'd keep
yeah.
in mind, keep in mind with all the growth these sports centers come along, this brings and the, A's players, Kings, Sac Republic. These are all professional athletes that are making multi-million dollars a year, and they don't necessarily want to, have a 4 hour commute back to their primary residence. So they have disposable income and the ability to purchase a place like this. So I think we'll actually see more of this in select spots, Los Lagos, Granite Bay, areas like this, these high luxury areas. I think you'll see some of this happening in Sacramento as it grows. I think it's natural.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a progression. I mean, I think a lot of people have realized the fact that, these areas, I don't know, I call it the Costco effect. A lot of these people are coming out here and they're not eating and they're going to Costco and they're buying these houses that are just crazy. And don't get me wrong, when I see that you guys are buying these amazing houses, I'm drooling. But then I all of a sudden I downshift into that's a lot to clean. That's a very high AC bill. Would I
Right.
ever see my wife? Like things like that across my mind. I'm like, all right, that's a big house, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Invite me to
All
the
right.
housewarming party. I want to go to the housewarming party for one of those.
Oh yeah, we could actually seriously probably just live in the house after that. No one would even know we're there. It would just be in the guest wing. All right. We got Scott. Do you have any thoughts on the new Placer One community in Roseville? I think it's gonna be stellar. I think Placer One, Placer Vineyards, I think Bickford Ranch. But Placer One, I think, is already like laying like the foundation for building. I mean, I think what I've
Mhm.
heard that towards the end of this year, beginning of next year, they're gonna start selling. But I hear it's gonna be a nice community. I hear that what was it, Tri Point is gonna be out there building a couple communities out there. And I think JMC has got like six collections they're building out there as well. What have you heard about it?
Yeah, the only thing that concerns me is that location right off the 65 and what that's going to do traffic wise to that area, being it already impacted. But yeah, it's going to be pretty amazing to see. I mean, this is a huge development. It's like 7 new villages or something of homes. I think they have a lot of plans for open space too, so I think it'll create this really nice community vibe and family oriented, which will be good to see. Um, the impact around the that area is already kind of impacted traffic wise, so that might lead to more construction on highways and freeways and things like that, which, if you're one of the first people to move in to a new home community, you kind of have to deal with that, like living in construction for a little while, living with it around you. So that I would, pay attention to that if you're looking at that place. But their concepts look amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's how can I say it? Like the entire community looks very modern, and it's one of the first like it looks like I'm excited to see what it's going to look like eventually after they start building it out. All right, Wendy says a master cabinet builder is making a brand new walnut stained cabinets on black granite for my kitchen. It's a sophisticated look. Will this add value to my home? Perhaps more marketable. I would say one is whenever you're listing a home, I always like to have an upgrade list or like finishes, like what the person has put into it. So I'd say whatever receipts you have, whatnot, like that's what we'll show when people look to purchase the home. I think right now, if you're looking to sell, within the next like 6 months, you're safe. But also understand that a lot of the stuff that people are putting in their homes, if they plan on selling it in 6 years, if they go too crazy, or go so contemporary, so like right now, in 6 years from now, I mean, it might not be, it might not be the in thing, you know what I mean? So just kind of keep in mind. I like to keep I like to go with stuff that's kind of timeless, stuff that I've seen, that is nice, it's sleek, it's nice, but it's something that I could say in 6 years, 8 years, I'm not going to have to refresh my kitchen or my living room to sell. What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, it's tough to say because trends come and go so fast, and finishes change so quickly on what's desirable and what's new. One thing I'll note on that is I have seen homes with unique or creative kind of cabinet designs where it just makes the kitchen so functional that and it's stuff that you wouldn't really see anywhere, microwaves in a drawer, things like that, that people really kind of latch onto when they're touring homes and can like see themselves utilizing a lot. So I would say, talk to your cabinet builder, see what the current trends are. Like you said, it depends on when you're going to sell. If you're going to sell in any longer span of time, it's almost impossible to pinpoint what people are going to like.
Yeah.
But with
All
I
right.
will say, if you're going with darker stain and black countertops, um, talk to your electrician, get some ample lighting in there, make sure it's bright and airy.
100%. 100%. I mean, yeah. All right. So we got Sam who says Cressley is kind of crazy. They had homes in the 800Ks for slightly smaller homes. Also, they were immediately backing Anatolia is almost built out. Newer builds are a few miles down Douglas Road. Here's the thing about that whole area that kind of was okay. So what was it? Maybe like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, Crestley, Premier Homes, and even Woodside, they were building in like the 800s, 900s. I mean, their floor plans are over $1 million. KHOV comes into the picture and they start selling homes $400,000, $500,000. And because they continuously have been releasing collections that are playing to that toward a price point, what you now have is Crestley's latest collection. It's actually around 600. So all of a sudden, what you have are builders like Lennar, TriPoint, and TriPoint's big collection out there. I think it's Wild something or another. Wild, and that was like they're like $900,000. The houses are just sitting. So I think one of the things KHOV did, and affordable housing, that's great, but I also think that they kind of brought the price point down of Anatolia, and they set the tempo for what people are building out there right now. Because I think before KHOV came in, Premier was building what? Premier Homes was building some amazing homes. They were like 7, 8, $900,000. You know what I mean? Cressley was doing the same. And there were some homes that were kind of like they're raising the bar on like the price points of homes in Anatolia. And now all of a sudden, this whole kind of like KHOV building in the 4s, 5s, kind of everyone now is like, okay, well, if we go out there, we need to build there because we're going to compete against that price and the incentives. So I think that's the only thing you got to kind of worry about in that area. Don't you agree, Corey?
100%. Yeah, it's not just the single community, it's all the surrounding things, and go back to that cliche saying of location, location, location. It makes sure it's not just that specific space, but what you can get right next door. So, um, yeah, I would definitely analyze that and see where. But overall, that location is going to grow so much that we'll see those things kind of even out over time, I think.
Yeah. I mean, if you're buying short term, it's not great to buy in those new home communities. If you plan on selling in a couple of years, it's just, especially if you're in an area that's like, look, check this out, Corey. You want to see something crazy?
Yeah.
These are the communities in the Sacramento area. Isn't that crazy? The amount of new home
This is mind
communities
blowing.
right now in the Sacramento area. These are guys, when people are like, there's new homes building in Mountain House, they got nothing on Sacramento. These are all the new home communities that they're building right now. There you go, Placer One. But these are all the new home communities. Yeah, I know it's stretched out a little bit to Lincoln and to Grass Valley, but this is it. I mean, how
Yeah, look at
crazy is
West
that,
Roseville. I mean,
guys?
those are just dots on dots. You can't even see them all.
Oh, you can't even, they're all, yeah, this is just nuts how much building is
And
happening.
Rancho and Folsom. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely nuts. All right. So we got seeing some homes in the 800s in Whitney Ranch, homes around 10 years old. Are those good buys? Depends on the square footage and everything too. I think Whitney Ranch is actually, I love the community. I love the HOAs, or the HOA, $84 for a pool and everything too. But I have seen a lot of inventory in the Whitney Ranch area. I have actually showed a lot of people Whitney Ranch, and I love the area. I think the community is great. But I think the thing about those communities and the floor plans, a lot of people, the only comment that I get from people is that all the houses kind of look the same. I don't really feel that way, but you know, it's like this is the feedback I've gotten from people. What do you think, Corey, as far as 800 in Whitney Ranch, as far as Whitney Ranch in general?
Yeah, that seems like a pretty common price point for that area. I would say, people are looking at that and saying, "Hey, I want something custom and unique and have it be my own." Then it's can be a tough pill to swallow to, buy something in that range and have it look common to all the other ones around it. But if the floor plan's what you love the location, you have the pool or whatever features of that home that you like, I would say go for it. I think Whitney Ranch is going to be a great desirable area long term.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a beautiful community. I mean you pick up your kids and shopping or in golf carts. I mean, what's not to love about like Whitney Ranch? I mean, honestly, beautiful area. All right, so let's go to some. All right, so we got video guy Matt. The guy who owned the house in Cheshire is a big car collector guy. I was watching this listing, but mostly wondering where he decided to rebuy. He probably had $15 million in hypercars at that house. I don't know. You know, the funny thing is, a lot of people, will sell and then they kind of go custom and they want to just build something new. I mean, after you buy that type of house in the Sacramento area, where do you go? Like, what do you do? Like, what's the next level of house? Because I'd be happy with that house. All right. Sam says, agreed. I saw the K-Hob. I saw the K-Hob. God, this is the time my tongue gets all tangled. I saw the K-Hob homes, and they're not the best. You can surely tell the difference between them and the neighboring communities. But the main thing is, like, whether you love K-Hob or whether you don't, we won't jump into that. But the main thing is when you have, like, let's say $1 million home, and within a quarter mile, you have houses that aren't as at the same price as yours or higher. It brings them into your entire comps. You know what I mean? And that's where the rub is. Don't you think, Corey?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've fought appraisers on this before where they're pulling in comps from the neighboring community, which is just completely different, not comparable, and you gotta fight for your value sometimes, mainly on a sale. But yeah, it could definitely affect the value long term.
Yeah. All right. I do admit buying a 720 home in Rancho gives me a heartache, but with the seller converting all closing costs and the rate plus the layout and size of the home and Elk Grove Unified School District is great. The same house in Folsom would be $1 million or close to it. Agreed. Now, here's the thing, guys. Okay. One of the things you guys have to understand as well is the fact that, um, yeah, you can look at a house like the stock market and, this and that and everything too. But at the same time, like I look at my house and I'm never on Zillow looking at it how high or low it goes or everything too. But what I do factor in for my house is that like for 3 summers in a row, my daughter has been able to swim in the pool. We've able to get family gatherings. We have an amazing, amazing community that we're around. Those are things that for me go so far. I say to myself, like, this is, I'm paying a mortgage on a house that I love. Like it's awesome. I don't plan on moving anytime soon. And that's probably a little bit of my calm and tranquil feeling, right? Maybe if it was like, oh, we got to sell within 3 or 4 months, I might be freaking out. But I also look at it like, like my wife's happy. My daughter's happy. We're having an event this weekend, a Greek party this weekend too. Like, I'm good, and I think that you just also, Sam, one of the things you need to figure out is not just about like the price point, not about like the good buy, bad buy or anything too, but you just got to say to yourself, do you love your house? How's your family feel about your house? Like those things are so important. But in the market that we're in, where people had 2.75 interest rates, where people this and people that, and keeping up with the Joneses and all that stuff too, a lot of that stuff gets lost in translation. Do you love your house? Do you love like how it makes you feel, that how it makes your family feel? Do you love the community? All those things are huge factors also that you really can't put a price to. What do you think, Corey?
100%. I think there's one thing that my wife and I always talk about as we're like driving home from out of our area. And as we're getting closer and closer to our location, we're saying to each other like, "Gosh, I just love where we live." Our house might not be perfect; it might not be the exact like, street that we want to live on in the location. But as we're getting there, we're just like, "Gosh, I just love this location. I love the feel of it. I love the vibe. I love everything that it brings us." And then you walk inside, and it feels like home. My family functions here great, and I think those things are more important than cost in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah, 100%. All right, video guy Matt. What about Natomas flood insurance? Flood insurance, yeah. Natomas is definitely that spot. You're gonna have flood insurance. What about $100 a month? Just so you guys know. Okay, so let's jump into a little bit, and we'll end with the market and go some Q&A. All right, so 10-year Treasury, and I'm gonna be bringing this up because a lot of people on this channel are like, Mark, you're talking about like the Fed rate. It's completely different. If you guys are wondering where interest rates are going as far as in homes, home interest rates, mortgage rates, this is where you should be looking. This is going to tell you exactly what's up. Now, as far as we go, like we mentioned a couple, last week, the week before, 2 weeks actually before Jerome Powell made his announcement, I was saying that we're probably going to be hovering close to 6.5 for a while now. And it looks like somewhat around there as well, too. I don't think this is going to change much. I think we might go up a little bit, in fact, but I think this is where we're probably going to be for at least a little while. What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, I think on the last live that we did, I think I could be wrong. I have to go back and double check, but I think I was saying that we'd probably land around 6.35, maybe six and a quarter. I think we touched six and a quarter before the announcement. I had some people quoting, even below that if you're giving a government loan. But yeah, I think we're going to probably stay close to this range. I don't think we'll have a chance of dipping below five all the way into next year. Might get close to it in the springtime, but I think we're probably going to be sitting at this rate plus or minus, 10 to 15 points for quite some time.
All right. We
And
got
another
Charlie.
thing I'll say with listings sitting further, this is a great time to utilize that seller credit. Go in with an offer, at asking. Sometimes you can go over asking, get the seller to credit you back some cash to be able to put down towards your rate, and that might be able to just enough get you down into that low fives, or sorry, those low sixes or high fives.
Low fives, man. I might be selling my house. All right. We got Charlie who says, what builders have the best construction quality in your opinion? That's kind of a little bit of a loaded question. I think one is I say Shawwood right now up in Folsom, and I know they're like, and also Shawwood, as I think I mentioned it last week, they're going to be building their next community in Roseville and then their next one in Lincoln. I think Shawwood's build quality second to none. How they're building, like the wood is furniture grade wood, and it's amazing. It's very impressive. If you ever go to Folsom, I would say go to Shawwood just to see it. It's really like a work of art as far as houses go. Now, as far as like homes go, as far as the build quality goes, I would say that, it's all about the material. Like what I notice is it's not really like the house is built wrong or built this or, the walls are caving in or whatnot. It's mainly because it's little things that I notice, right? A KB, for example, if you compare it to like a Taylor, you're going to notice that a lot of times a KB, when you go like up a flight of stairs, you drop a little bit of ceiling height. Like the granite that they use sometimes in homes are a little bit thinner. The doorways are a little lower. And it's just, that's where you're seeing a lot of times where the money is, like where you're saving money, right? And so as far as building goes, and I was telling this to someone, I'm like, look, here's the thing. I don't care what a builder tells you. Builders are basically building the same type of house, right? 2x4s, like it just, except for maybe Beezer who does a double wrap, but for the most part, where that extra push happens when you have like a Toll Brothers home is like where they do additional like pre-wiring and pre-things for all those fun little upgrades and finishes they're doing in structural. But for the most part, what I've seen is that, the materials that you're going to be losing at like a KB home. Let's say you're buying a KB home for $500,000 and you're buying a Taylor Morrison home for 700. You're just going to see little differences in the materials they're using, right? Are they using bad wood? No. I mean, I've seen KB homes that we've turned over to clients that have gone through the best inspections bar none. And people might say KB is a budget builder. They're not. They're an affordable builder. So I would just say that. What do you think, Corey? Am I babbling or am I kind of hitting a spot on?
No, yeah, I'd agree with that. I think it comes down to finishes. The core materials are probably all the same, but when you go to if you walk through a granite store, you'll see the kind of entry level granite, and they all kind of have that you can kind of just look at them and tell that hey, this is kind of a baseline, and then one will catch your eye from down the aisle and be like, oh wow, that looks really nice, and you'll see it's 4 times the cost. That's kind of those standard finishes that you'll be getting. But I would also say quality is not just in finishes, it's how the builder is going to react when you bring up issues that you may find. All homes have issues, even new homes. So if you bring up issues to them, are they going to say, hey, yep, no worry, we'll be there next week to finish that, we'll take care of it, and they go in and they do a good job on those repairs and those warranty claims? I think that's where a lot of frustration comes in with people buying a new home and then realizing, gosh, this thing's kind of feels like it's falling apart and it's 2 years old. Make sure you're working with a builder that has a good reputation on fixing those items. And there's inspections. I would definitely do an inspection before if your builder will allow that. Some builders don't, but definitely do a post. Once you take possession of that, do an inspection. Have a professional do an inspection to catch those little things that they can come in and correct for you.
There we go. I'd say you're right. And also, as far as like the superintendent, make sure you kind of like talk to him. You do a little research on the superintendent too. And like Corey said, one of the things about Lennar is just that like the thing that kind of irked me about them the most, and I've worked with them before, is the fact that like after the fact, they're not as responsive to, and it's not maybe because of them. It's just the systems they put in place. You should know your, like how you say, if you go to like, I know if you go to Taylor, if you go to like KB at times, you go to Toll, like you're going to know the salesperson, you're going to know the construction manager and everything too. So you're going to know those people, which I think goes a long way. I think it's a little bit more anonymous in some builders. Now, Sam says, let's narrow it down. What do you think of Pulte and Lennar? I think Pulte is a great builder, honestly. The stuff that they were doing in West Roseville, the stuff that they were doing in Rancho, I think that Pulte, I mean, they're a great addition to our marketplace. The thing about Pulte, Corey, here's the thing about Pulte. You want to hear something crazy about Pulte? Okay, so like they do more bedrooms than almost any other builder I've ever seen. They'll do like a 3,000 square foot house with like 7 bedrooms. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
I've
it's
noticed that.
and
Yeah.
you're not going to feel it, but you're not going to feel it be like squished. But they make it work, which I think that there's a huge need for that, because I think a lot of people are like, you usually see the 4 to 5 bedroom house. You know what I mean? That's usually the max of what you get. People are like, well, I got more people I'm moving in and everything too. So I think that like Pulte, what I'm going to say is going forward, when you start seeing resale Pulte homes, they're going to cater to a market that I think has formed even more because of COVID. A market where they're bringing in mom, they're bringing in dad, they're bringing in uncle,
Exactly.
aunt. And I think that Pulte is smart. And I think they're ahead of the curve as far as that stuff goes. And so for me, I like Pulte. I think they're a great addition. I think a lot more builders should start learning from Pulte and maybe throwing in a floor plan that's maybe 6 bedroom and 7 bedrooms. I think that would be a smart move. Now, whether builders do it or listen to me, I don't know, but I think that's a good move. As far as Lennar goes, one of the things about Lennar, there's a lot of ethical things for me about Lennar is the fact that they cut prices, and they'll sell Corey a house and they'll sell him a house for $800,000. And then next day they'll sell it to me for like $700,000. Like that kind of stuff really irks me. So I'm not, as far as build quality though, I've literally had people that said they love their Lennar homes, and had people who said they haven't loved their Lennar homes. For me, it's never been about quality. It's more just been about like just their ethics, their how they go about and treat customers, and just the overall. And here's the thing: this is my complete, what I've gotten from my clients, but I would challenge anyone to go to forums and to just type in "how is Lennar as a builder," and go to these forums for yourself. I would definitely do the research. What do you think, Corey?
Absolutely. And there's a and between the two, I think it depends on the location and, like you said, the team behind it. I've had really good responsive people at Lennar, and then I've had really unresponsive people at Lennar. Not I haven't had as much experience, in all honesty, with Pulte. We've sold a couple of those, but haven't had as much experience on the follow up with them after closing. Um, but yeah, the other thing with those larger room homes is think about what that does to the neighborhood. you have that many people living in a 7 bedroom home, that's that many more cars on site, on the streets, things like that. So take into account all of those items. But between the two, I would look at close both, or look at them both closely, and then follow your gut. Make sure you have a strong team, whichever builder you choose.
Yeah, no, 100%. Okay, so we got another question. JMC is, or we got a statement. I like the JMC is the best builder in Sacramento region. Inspirational Village and Highline Village in Roseville is a place for working professionals. I think JMC, the best standard upgrades, bar none. I love their floor plans. And they're really popular. I mean, they keep building. I know they're going to be really heavy hitters over Placer One. I've heard even rumors that might be even headed to Bickford. Local builder as well too. I think JMC is stellar. I've worked with a lot of people who've gotten JMC homes, and they've had nothing but love. And I think JMC has put their footprint in the West Roseville area. And the reason why they keep building more communities is because they really do quality building. What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, I'd agree. I really like the floor plans, like you mentioned, on for JMC homes, and that the standard finishes, they did a really good job on selecting those. And um, I've had a good experience with them. I've had really good feedback from my clients in regard to JMC, especially if you go to a KB first, or if you're on a big tour and you're looking at multiple different um, locations when you walk into a JMC. And I've been impressed with Taylor Morrison's too. I feel like
Yeah.
they've kind of stepped it up, and really good floor plans, high ceilings. I've seen some of their build outs that have larger backyards, larger lots, which is nice to see. But yeah.
The other thing, I'll tell you something. What goes a long way for me also is the sales staff. Taylor Morrison has always been those people. They're just, I love working with Taylor Morrison. They're just so nice, and they're so knowledgeable about the area. And they're almost like, if you buy with us, great. If it doesn't work for you, hey, it's all good too. So the sales approach, the sales team, class acts all the way. I love Taylor Morrison. All right. Sam says, on point with Pulte Mark. The house that I got, 5 bedroom, 2,850 square feet, it could be 3,111 square feet with 6 beds. If the 3-car tandem garage is given up, for oof, you just moved the whole thing. It means house, but it could be 311, 31. Sorry about that. 3,111 square feet with 6 bedroom. If the 3-car tandem garage is given up for the downstairs suite, it could be 7 bedrooms with a loft. And that's what I mean. 7 bedrooms, and you're not giving up the loft. That's crazy. Pulte's got some magic in those homes, because it is amazing that you can get that many bedrooms in that square footage of a house. I think, like I said, for me, I think that what you're going to notice is when a lot of people, not like Pulte, they're going to start selling them left and right, but when those homes come to market, there's going to be a niche for that market. And I think a lot of builders are missing out. All right. Something buyers should really be wary of. Cities will make decisions down the line that'll impact you. Sacramento is putting a homeless village near the homes in Natomas with no say from residents. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think here's the thing. I think every area is going to have its things, right? Every area, every city, every location. I would say the thing that I would give anyone, this is advice straight up. Do your investigations, do your due diligence before you buy into any single area. Not just in Sacramento, in the Bay. If you're going to Texas and you want that humidity and tornadoes or hurricanes, whatever they have out there, do your due diligence. What do you think, Corey?
100%. I mean, it's tough because some of those things, even if you do have say, some of the cities will just steamroll you and just say, "Oh, we're doing this. This is the only place we can do it," and they'll do it anyway. Interesting though, bringing up Natomas again, with reminded me about the flood insurance. Keep in mind, if you're looking in a flood location, my insurance, I had a talk with my insurance guy today, and a lot of those flood insurance programs are sponsored by the federal government. So with the government shutdown, you can't get that flood insurance policy while the government shut down, which I thought was really interesting. So we had a chat about that today. I know it's off topic from his question, but yeah, look, if you're looking in that, a government shutdown could affect your insurability.
Oi, 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 oi. Perfect timing. And it just started raining in Sacramento. Okay, moving on. All right, so we got that. Charlie says, thank you for your answer. Little things matter. I think they do. I think little things and just details and everything too. And at the end of the day, just make sure you know what you're buying. And that's it. All right. Avoid empty lots. Avoid city-owned parcels. Avoid cities with supreme majority power in the hands of a one-sided political spectrum. I would say this. Like I said, for me, I love our Sacramento area. You know, we don't talk politics, religion, or anything. That's crazy stuff on this channel. We talk real estate. And if I was someone and I was looking at the United States in general as far as a place to live or whatnot, I love us. I love our area. I love our location. I love the growth potential. I think we are in such a good position. I don't know if there's anywhere in the United States that I could say to myself, like, if I had a real estate business, a YouTube channel, that I'd rather be than here. I just think that it's so cool to be on the ground floor of something amazing like Sacramento. To say to myself, to say to, like, you know, my daughter in the future, I was there before the Railyards the stadium was built. I was there before the surf park. I was there before that sports complex they put in Folsom. I mean, that's so amazing. And I don't know. For me, I'm glad to be here. What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've lived here for almost 6 years now, and it feels like it's a whole new place in a way, just from that amount of time. And like you said, we're hitting the tip of the iceberg with some of these major developments coming in. So it's going to change over time, and I think it's going to be in a positive light. I think overall, it's going to be a an attractant for most people to come here, and I'm here for it. I want to watch it grow, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, we'll be just sitting there in the stadium doing our live show. It'll be good. All right.
Yeah, in our
Evan
box.
says, I know, sitting there, the Corey McKinney commercial box. All right. It says, you're right, video guy Matt. It's Natomas is nice as Natomas is not as nice as it was before. And video guy Matt says, "Yep, Natomas is cooked. I'll buy for vineyards at the value cash." Man, video guy Matt is gonna be throwing in some low ball offers. Look, here's the thing, Natomas, and I'll tell you this: it's almost about every single area that I know in the Sacramento area, straight up. You got Top Golf coming into the Natomas area. You got Innovation Plaza, and they're bringing in that medical school as well too. You got stuff developing in all these different areas of Sacramento. Sacramento is completely morphing into something crazy, and it's happening from every single angle. So there might be some spots that are a little bit weak, but you know, in 6 months, and I'm not saying Natomas is, I'm just telling you there could be, but all of a sudden you're going to see a new park, a new arena, a new medical building, Dignity here, Kaiser there. This is what we have here in Sacramento. So understand, we got it good. All right. Inspiration Village and Highland Village, Roseville are gated communities. It's a safe place for you to live. I have peace of mind living here in Roseville. I actually moved a couple people into the village as well too, and they live in the Bay Area and they commute every single weekend to their home in Roseville. Secure, safe, and private. I got to relay that. All right. What do you think about some questions, and then we will let everybody go for the evening.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
All right, we got a video about the only thing that's developed in Natomas recently, many apartments and hundreds of homeless. Video guy, Matt, come on. We need good stuff in Natomas. I have a feeling when the Innovation Plaza develops in Natomas, I also have a feeling the Top Golf, I think there's stuff in play. I think Natomas, the location between the airport and downtown, I love it. All right. Next level, this house in Verdera, guys. Verdera is an amazing community. It's in Lincoln. If you are looking for like a Serrano, Whitney Oaks, this house just blew me away. Wow, amazing. The kitchen is stunning. I like the sink in the island. I also like the cooktop in the island. If there's two islands, it's awesome. I know you didn't see this video, man. This house what do you think of that Verdera area?
Oh, I love it. My brokerage did a big old event over there, and it was beautiful. Before I went to the event and afterward, I just drove around the whole neighborhoods. It's gorgeous. I really
Yeah.
like it.
It has, like, I tell people this, it has like a kind of an Arizona landscape vibe out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really feels like really nice. I like it. Yeah. All right. Evan says, LOL, even North Lake Natomas is not a great place for the price. No, North Lake, Lennar, what have you done? What have you done? All right, next one. Boom. Looks very old school. Do you have any new construction homes in a bigger size? Yeah, absolutely. If you're looking for any new homes, if you're looking for stuff with big pieces of land, if you're even looking for custom homes, We do all that and more. If you're looking for a custom home, we're working with currently about 5 people. We're looking for land, and they're going to be building custom homes around 250, 350, 450 a square foot, depending on finishes. You can definitely do it. We work with a company that also does a construction loan, and they make it very easy on your iPad to choose your finishes. So if you want something bigger, if you want to select your piece of land, we got you. All right. Boom. This one's all you, Corey. Would you move to Roseville or Folsom, even if the home insurance costs were crazy? Home insurance in Roseville is not that high. It's only in Folsom and the rest of Placer County towns. What do you think of that?
Um, Folsom's not too bad insurance wise. Really, I mean, Roseville's not too bad. The key things with insurance are, especially if you're relating it to fire insurance, is if you're on plumbed water. So once you get past, Folsom, you get into El Dorado Hills and then into Cameron Park, you're starting to get into areas where you might be on a well. And then location to fire hydrants and fire service. So those are the biggest key players in there. Obviously, utility costs vary differently between those two locations. But yeah, I haven't had too much issues with Folsom insurance. And Placer County, I would say it's kind of 50-50. If you're in the Roseville, Rockland areas, Granite Bay, on the southern portion of Placer County, you shouldn't have too many issues. Same thing applies. Once you get further out, you're on wells or you're far away from fire hydrants or fire service, that's where you'll see that significant jump in insurance costs.
Yeah, I'd say Roseville, you're pretty good. Folsom, you pretty solid, unless you get like some of those houses like on Serpa or on Sundal. But for the most part, you should be pretty
Hmm.
good. I would say, like Corey said, just make sure location also close to a fire station, fire hydrants, like accessible roads as well too. Those things are all big ones. I would also say this, and this check this out, Corey. Tell me what you think. I think so many people at times are so scared about homeowners insurance, so scared about fire insurance that they basically will look at a house and they will say, no, I'm not even gonna, I don't even want to go check it out. I can already tell by looking at the house, homeowners insurance or home insurance is gonna be crazy. There's a lot of people that are doing that. And I've been seeing some of these
Yeah.
houses that are sitting that are dropping prices when all it might take is a call to your broker at Farmers, and your broker at Farmers might go, you know what, it really isn't that bad. Here's what it looks like.
A
So
hundred
I would
percent,
say
100%.
don't completely discount some of these houses. If you find something and you have a good relationship with your insurance broker, send them an address and say, what do you think? And see, possibly you get a deal where everyone else is saying, I'm not even going to look at it. I'm not even going to go in that direction. You could be the one getting a screaming deal. What do you think, Corey?
Yep. Yeah, I've been surprised on both sides where I'm like, gosh, this home shouldn't have bad fire insurance at all, or bad homeowners insurance in any way. And boom, it does. And then I've had some way up in the hills, almost all the way to Tahoe. You're just surrounded by pine trees, and the policy's $2,500 a year because there's a fire station down the street. That whole little section of town is on plumbed fire water. There's hydrants everywhere. And so get a good insurance broker. That's all it takes. And my guy, I send him 3 to 4 addresses a week. Hey, what's this look like? I got a guy looking at this. They want to just give me a ballpark. You don't have to go, sit for hours in front of your computer. Throw me a ballpark number, and a good broker will be able to do that for you.
Oh, yeah. All right. So this is a house in Newcastle that I did a video on. Like, and this, there's so many people calling me about this house too. And YouTube videos do work. It is almost guilty to own so much land. California is in a housing crisis. Here's the thing for me. I mean, I think, you know, this house it was a nice house. The land was just so great. I mean, it is the dream of so many people to own their own hill, to own a house in a more than 5 acre hill. It was beautiful. And yeah, I get the guilt part of it too. But, I'd say that there's people who were calling me left and right about this house, though. I don't know, like it's crazy. $1.4 million for over 5 acres, a 3,000 square foot home, and an ADU. Ah, beautiful house. All right. Would
Beautiful.
you prefer, and this is all you, Corey, would you prefer to live in a master plan community with an HOA? No master plan community for me. Watched a lot of your videos. You should do a video on places that Bay Area singles, this was one, are moving to in the Sacramento area. No
Yeah, I mean,
HOAs. What do you think? Or master plan? Sorry.
personally for me, I'm more of the I'm out of the master plan communities for me personally. It's not my favorite. That those typically come with heavy CCNRs or HOAs, and I very much like to do what I want to do on my property. If I'm paying all this money for this, I want to be able to, park my trailer at my on my own property, or park my boat, or whatever you want to be able to do. Um, and I like the flexibility of living in an area that things are not set in stone because somebody at a desk kind of put it together. Not saying that they're bad. I think some of the master plan communities are executed fantastic, and it gives this great blend of open space and things like that. But for me as an owner, um, it's not my absolute favorite, but like one of the comments said, having a gated community and having that security feeling, I think there's a huge part of the marketplace that really likes that, and that's extra security there. So I think the best part about Sacramento is there's something for everybody here.
I think you just hit the nail on the head right there. And this is totally true. Golf course communities. You can buy your own hill. You can live in a master plan community. You can live on the water. You can live in a house that was built in 1920. There are so many different
Hmm.
areas in the Sacramento area. You can have anything you want here. Don't
Yeah.
think that Sacramento is just one thing. It is so many different things. And everyone that probably Corey's worked with, that I've worked with, that have thought about, Sacramento doesn't have this. Yeah, we do. And you'll be surprised in the various communities you can find. Communities like the Pocket, Briggs Ranch, communities like Whitney Ranch, Whitney Oaks, Verdera. Guys, we've got a lot of fun stuff in Sacramento. And if you don't like HOAs, you don't have to get one. If you don't like master planning communities, you can move next to Corey. He's fine with that. Maybe. Well, depend.
Well, and the other thing, is work with an agent that's gonna work. Our job is a service-based job. Our job is to find you exactly what you're looking for. Our opinion has no weight or say or matter in your decision on where you want to live. But I have encountered agents that will just completely trash on the client's idea of, hey, I want to go look at this new build or this or that, and they're just talking so poorly about the HOAs and how they hate this type of community and all that, where their opinion has no weight. They shouldn't even be talking about what they like. So make sure you're getting an agent that can separate those two things, and focus really on their job, which is to serve you in the best way, and get you exactly what you're looking for based on your goals.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I agree. All right, price drops coming winter 2025. What do you think? Yes, we got 50% said yes, 29% no. What do you think? Price drops?
I think so. I think we'll
Yeah.
see. I mean, naturally, it's seasonality part of it. The other part of it, I think some people are just kind of waiting out on what happens with everything. It seems like the political environment is just constantly causing people to make housing decisions left and right. So, yeah, I think we'll see price drops, which I think will give huge opportunity to buyers, including if you combine a price drop with an interest rate drop and you get that seller credit in there. This is where like you can get a really killer deal on a property when nobody else is looking at the market during the winter.
I don't think we're going to get video guy Matt type of price drops, but yeah, I'm with you. I think we're going to see some price drops.
No
I think we're going to
50%
have
cuts.
no 50% cuts, but I do think we're right now going to see the sellers that they're like, oh, I just want to sell. Nah, you know what? Let's just do it in spring. And then the ones who are like, I got to get rid of this property. So I think there could be some
Right.
deals, and I do definitely think price drops are coming. All right, who's looking for some good new home deals? Yes, 54%. 46 said no, I'll be at Home Goods shopping. Okay, so I got some great home deals for you guys. I'm gonna drop a video on Friday about a house that's reduced over $200,000. So I got deals for you. All right, this one's all you, Corey. If Roseville had more affordable new construction options in Folsom, would that sway your decision? Yes, no. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I would say yes. I've had a lot of clients look at those two cities specifically because they offer a lot. There are a lot of
Yeah.
similarities between those two with restaurants, stores, shopping malls, things like that. So I've taken clients to one and or the other, and had them base that decision on value, not just price, but like, quality, finishes, all of that. Especially looking at new construction and interest rate. What are the perks of working with this builder? Um, People definitely go in between those two, so I think price will make a big difference in that decision.
All right. Well, we came to the end of the program. I want to give a shout out to Corey, who comes on here. I mean, he's a rock star. Not only this, Corey is building an amazing business in the commercial space. That doesn't mean he doesn't do residential, because he loves residential. He just lives and breathes real estate as well too. But also the commercial stuff. If you're looking for commercial statistics, if you're thinking about opening a business, like, who should be looking for you, Corey?
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on first off, and always, talking so positively. But yeah, anybody who's has interest in the commercial space, when a lot of people look at commercial or think of commercial, they just think of multifamily, apartments, um, duplexes, triplexes, things like that. But there's so much more to it. There's retail spaces, there's office space, there's industrial warehousing, there's restaurants. There's so many different factors that play into this. And so if you're somebody who's looking to move a business here, you're looking to invest in a commercial space, want to talk about the different avenues and what they can offer you from a purely investment standpoint, then definitely give me a call. The other thing that I'm getting into pretty heavily is business brokering. So a lot of times these pieces of real estate, say a restaurant, I just listed a restaurant, winery, bistro with an event center, and we're selling that along with the business itself. So I can help you manage all of that. If you're looking to purchase a business in the area and relocate, happy to work with you, discuss all of the dynamics of it. And it's really based on numbers crunching, data, statistics, demographics, traffic counts. So happy to get into all of those details with you. Any questions you have, big or small, happy to help.
All right, guys. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the session, the live show we do every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. just for you. The Railyards Stadium for the Sacramento Republic is on its way. More things coming to the Sacramento area, guys. We're in something really, really good here. Hopefully you guys feel the energy. Hopefully you guys feel the Sacramento love. If you do, smash that like button, all that fun stuff. Friday, I'm going to drop a video at 7 p.m. about a house that is just reduced more than $200,000. So that's going to be on Friday. And Wednesday, I'll be back live talking a little bit more Sacramento real estate. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Okay, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the show tonight. Like I said, there's so many fun things coming to the Sacramento area. You guys should be excited. I sure am. Now, if you enjoyed the live broadcast that we do every single Wednesday at 7 p.m., smash that like button. Also, any comments or questions you have, put them below. I'll make sure to answer them. Love you guys tuning in, and I appreciate you guys spending the evening with me talking a little Sacramento real estate. Now, guys, we're a real estate team in the area. So if you're thinking about making the move to Sacramento and you're looking for a team to work with, you got some questions, you just want to know a little bit more about Sacramento, there's a Zoom link below. Hit that Zoom link, get on a call with us so we can talk to you a little bit about the pros and cons about Sacramento, the areas, neighborhoods, communities, and if Sacramento's the right fit for you. Now, if you are someone who's thinking about selling your home and you live in the Sacramento area, Lake Tahoe, or the Bay Area, we are doing so much with YouTube right now, guys. 10 houses sold so far with YouTube videos. We'd love for your house to be number 11. Reach out to our team. We'll show you the marketing, the analytics, and all the other stuff that we've got that make us the team to go with if you're thinking about getting your house sold, not just listed, but sold. Now, one last thing before I go, there's a playlist right over there of other videos I've done about the Sacramento area. Knowledge is power, and those videos over there are going to give you the knowledge you need to make the move to Sacramento seamlessly and get the education you need. All right, guys, this is Mark. I'm going to drop another video Wednesday at 7 p.m. lives like I do every single week. And on Friday at 7 p.m., I'm going to launch another video for you so you get a little bit more information on the Sacramento area. All right, guys, until next video, smash that like button. See ya.